I would go by myself, and I would lie to people, not telling them I was going by myself, because I thought they're going to look at me like I'm nuts. Why would you drive all the way up there by yourself? And it just snowballed. It got to the point where I was spending my rent money, all my bills. I didn't care.
That is Joy. Joy's gambling addiction controlled her life. She lost her family, she lost her friends, she lost her job, all because of gambling. Joy ended up going to prison, but she is out today.
Now, for a lot of people, gambling is a form of entertainment, but for many others, like Joy, gambling can become a devastating addiction, destroying families and relationships, as well as impacting careers.
The good news is there is help for those people, and that help could get them back on track to a happy, productive life. It's through a program called the Maryland Center of Excellence on Problem Gambling.
Mary Drexler is the program director and joins us in historic Studio D. Mary, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for asking me to be here.
All right, the Maryland Center of Excellence on Problem Gambling, that's the name of the group. It's actually part of the University of Maryland School of Medicine. Yes. What does the group do?
Yeah, well, there's many things that we do, but we try and help individuals, the community, treatment providers across the state, counselors, to understand how gambling can become a devastating addiction. In our offices, we have experts in the areas of treatment, education, prevention, and training. So we do a lot of training of treatment providers across the state to get them a better understanding of problem gambling so they can be more effective in their interventions with gamblers. We do public awareness. We do campaigns. Right now we have a statewide campaign where we're getting out if gambling's causing you a problem. This is where you can go for help, and that's billboards and TV and radio, and received funding for that, so that we were able to do that. And we also work with substance abuse providers and treatment providers in asking those questions when they're seeing some of their current clients, because gambling is kind of a hidden addiction.
I was going to ask you about that. Joy was saying it's very hidden. So, for those of us who aren't sure, is there anything that we can look for that might indicate there's a problem here?
Yeah, you have somebody who, well, gamblers, number one, are good liars, cover up.
Right.
So they tend to conceal that gambling behavior, but eventually it catches up with them. But some of the things you look for, all of a sudden you're getting bills saying that you're past due on payments, that things aren't getting done, your mortgage isn't being paid. So that may be a heads up, especially if the gambler is the one who takes care of those, because they're real good at running to the mailbox, getting those statements, and you wouldn't even know that you were having problems. In addition to lying about the gambler, there are other things. A gambler tends to, they may have lost a lot of money. The next day they're back in there trying to win it back. It's called chasing your losses. So if you see the activity increasing, they're not showing up at work, or they're taking longer lunch breaks and they say, oh, it was the traffic. Or they're saying to their family, oh, I've got a late meeting. And when in essence they may be again, lying about the behavior that is happening. Right. It can also create some just basic stress that hits you physically, you know, intestinal problems, headaches, because you're so stressed out over what's happening. You notice your finances are in big trouble, which we talked about.
Yeah, so what causes a gambler or somebody with an addiction to lose the control to control that urge, I guess.
Yeah, it's a lot like, you know, again, when we said hidden addiction, you get the same kind of highs that with substance abuse or alcohol abuse. It does trigger things in the brain. There's been some research that deep inside our brain, where it's the reward system or the decision making, that really you get that, you know, your brain lights up with the excitement of the activity. So some of it is got some genetic tendencies to it. Sometimes it's they haven't learned some really good coping skills for normal stressors, so that can lead them to it. Some of it is they may have had an upbringing in a household where gambling was common, and maybe there was a problem gambling in there. And so, you know, if there's a child in that household, they're at a higher risk for getting an addiction down the line.
So in other words, problem gambling doesn't just affect the gambler.
No, it affects family, and other significant others in their lives. Again, we talked about it earlier, financially.
Right.
It could be devastating to the family. You know, there's no more money in the savings account or the checking account to even buy food or take care of basic needs. The emotional toil that occurs with not just the gambler, but with the family members at that time, children. You know, in that kind of environment where there could be, it could even lead to violence. Domestic violence has been linked with gambling issues because of the frustration, the anger that may be building up in that problem gambler.
Mary, let me ask you this. Is there a certain time of year where the problem can be more acute?
Well, you know, they're individuals with the problem gambling. So it's a stressful event could have happened, could be the anniversary of some kind of event that might trigger, I just need to go to the casino, this is the way I relax myself. There's anxiety that's happening in a relationship, especially if you really are developing this problem. So that could be a trigger. Major, major sporting events. At different times of years, a lot of office pools occur. And with office pools, you don't know if someone in that office could be a problem gambler. And so that may just be a trigger for them. Everybody else is gambling. Why can't I go back to gambling? Right. Problem gamblers don't often reach out for help unless they're at their rock bottom. So we're trying to let people know there's help out there, even if you think you're at risk for developing a problem.
And you're saying that problem gamblers can be treated?
They can. There are options. There is individual and family counseling available to them. In this state of Maryland, there are Gamblers Anonymous groups for the gambler themselves. There are not as many what we call Gam-Anon, which is for family members or friends. Right now in Maryland, there are only 2 of those groups, but we are working to increase that. And recently, the Center of Excellence has taken on hiring some what we call peer recovery specialists. Some people aren't ready to go right and talk to a counselor. It's kind of an intimidating thing. So our recovery specialists will actually work with them, help them with some basic resources, and actually, if they have to, meet them at an appointment to help them get through that first time that they want to go to treatment.
I imagine with any other problem, the first step is reaching out. How can they do that?
They can reach out through our helpline number, which is 1-800-GAMBLER. So I advise that, or be able to go to our website. We do have a website to reach out for help, or they could directly call us at the Center of Excellence on problem gambling.
All right.
Well, we will have
so much.
all of that contact information on Delmarva Life for you as well, so that you can find out more.
Very interesting. Thank you.
Thank
so
you
much,
very
Mary,
much. I
for coming in
appreciate
and
it.
talking about it.